Thank you again for coming to my channel. So I did a rain gear test for my AT equipment yesterday in solid pouring rain. It's rained for about 48 hours straight, and I only went out and only did about 3 miles yesterday, but I started showing some clips of that on my social media, and I got a lot of comments and a lot of questions in my hiking groups. So I'm going to be putting up the full video of the whole adventure of how I actually did this over 2 days and a couple of different hikes and testing different rain gear. But then also breaking that video up, so that will be up on my YouTube if you want to watch the whole adventure. But I'm breaking that down into shorter videos of the actual specific gear. Forgive me for the redundancy. Some of this is in the longer video, and then I'm making these shorter videos, and this that I'm recording right now will be at the beginning of each of those shorter videos. So here we go with the individual reviews of the products that I've been using. I am going to give my full review of the Sealskinz Socks. This was the product that I was actually the most impressed with out of everything that I was using for my rain gear. These are available online. I have seen them in some outfitters, but they don't carry them as often as you see like Darn Tough socks and things like that, Injun G-toe liners. So I want to show a little bit that this is, these are a wool, I believe, or a wool poly blend exterior. One quick note. I saw someone post back in I think December that they were getting these for their AT Thru-hike, and they were going to test them. And I was like, oh, I've never heard of those. Those sound interesting. I'll get them too. And then kind of forgot about it until I was checking out, and I cannot remember which site it was, and I had COVID, so COVID brain. But I was checking out, and these popped up as an add-on for a discount or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, I was going to try those. So I kind of bought them on a whim. Wasn't sure if I was even going to take them on the hike. I'm so glad I tested them and I bought them, because I think these are going to be lifesaver on the trail from here on out. Anytime I'm thinking about getting wet, these are just going to be in my pack. So they have this exterior wool poly, I'm not sure, I don't remember, I'm sorry, blend. And then they have this, I don't even, there's a middle layer that's some sort of protective barrier that does not get wet, and then your inside is kind of a normal sock fleecy type of material. You'll see I'm gonna splice in the videos from my actual splashing around. So I splashed around, I was in puddles, deep in puddles. Just keep literally walking through the river and all the puddles that I possibly can to get my boots as wet as I can, because I want to see how these Sealskinz socks work. And so far, so good. I mean, I know my boots are wet, and I don't feel anything. Yeah, my feet are dry. So we'll see after splashing around in here some more. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm buried up to my ankles right now. Yeah. So, not that I'm going to do this on the trail, but you know, there's maybe some days where it's been pouring for days, and this is what I have to do to test how it's going to be. And then I got home, I left the boots on for a long time because my boots were soaked, and wanted to be walking around in wet boots to see if that permeated through at all just in wet boots, not even being in the rain anymore. Then I took them off. Okay, here's the sealskin update. I have had these boots on for hours now, soaking wet. I intentionally didn't take them off. They are soaked all the way through, totally sopping wet. Just took them off. The exterior of the Sealskinz socks are soaked. But here's my Injun G-toe liners, totally dry. My feet have been warm and dry. I've had no tingling, numbness, anything, no feeling of wetness at all. The inside of the liners, totally dry. Exterior is soaked. Boot is soaked. So they work, and I'm keeping them. And then I let them dry overnight in my camper. I did not have heat on in my camper. It was a warmer night. It was only in the low 50s overnight. So leaving it in my camper would have been similar to leaving it in my tent, hanging up to dry overnight. And when I woke up in the morning, these were the most dry of any of my other layers. Anything else that I had spread out that I was wearing that day to dry, these were the most dry on the exterior, and of course on the inside they were still dry too. So these babies kept my feet totally dry all day, warm. I never experienced any little, like, you know how your fingers or your toes start tingling when they're getting cold and you're like, oh my god, am I getting frostbite or whatever? Like, none of that. So these I am using forever as long as they make them. I hope that I can keep buying them forever and that I'm as happy with them actually on the trail as I have been in my test hike with them. So Sealskins, love ya. Definitely going on the trail with me.